Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the external feature of a cerebellum. Cerebellum, it is otherwise called as the little brain, and it is the largest part of hindbrain which is situated in the posterior cranial fossa just behind the pons and medulla oblongata. This is the cerebellum which is seen in the posterior cranial fossa, and anterior to the cerebellum there we can see that two structures. These are the pons and medulla oblongata. Then which this structure, the main function of this cerebellum, which maintain the tone, posture, equilibrium, and the movement of our body, and which mainly the main function of the cerebellum is which control the movement of our body. In this video, we are going to learn about the relations, external features, parts, divisions, and functions of cerebellum. First, we can discuss about the relationship or relations of cerebellum. The anteriorly, which is related with the fourth ventricle, pons, and medulla oblongata. These structures, this area, it is called as the anterior area, which is related with the fourth ventricle, pons, and medulla oblongata, and postero-inferiorly, which is related with the squamous part of occipital bone. This structure, it is called as the squamous part of occipital bone, and the superiorly, we can see that the blue colored area, it is called as the tendorium cerebelli. So these structure which are called as the infratentorial structures. That means which is seen just under the tendorial or tendorium cerebelli. The tendorium cerebelli which helps to divide the cerebellum from the cerebrum. Above the tendorium cerebelli there we can see another structure, it is called as the cerebrum. Then we are going to learn about external features and parts of cerebellum. First, we can discuss about the external features. The cerebellum, which consists of two hemispheres. There are two hemispheres like the cerebrum. The cerebrum, it is made up of two hemispheres, and the cerebellum also, which is made up of two hemispheres. That hemispheres are called as cerebellar hemispheres, and the right and left cerebellar hemispheres joined or united each other at center by a median vermis. This portion is called as the median vermis. The right and the left hemispheres are joined at midline. That area, it is united at midline by the median vermis. And the cerebellum has two surfaces. The surfaces are the superior surface and the inferior surface. First, we can discuss about the superior surface. The superior surface is convex and which is continuous with the right superior surface of right hemisphere, which is continuous with the superior surface of left hemisphere. The superior surface of right hemisphere, which is continuous with the superior surface of left hemisphere. And the inferior surface which shows a median notch which is called as vallecula. This area, it is called as vallecula. And the inferior surface which shows a deep cleft like area or deep notch, that deep notch is called as the vallecula. It is called as vallecula. And the anterior aspect of the cerebellum, which is marked by a deep notch in which the pons and medulla oblongata lodges. Here we can see a deep notch, that then anterior to the notch that we can see the pons and medulla oblongata. Then posteriorly there is a narrow and deep notch in which the falx cerebelli located. Then here we can see on posterior view of the cerebellum, there we can see a cleft, that cleft which is filled by the dura mater. That dura mater, it is called as the falx cerebelli. Each cerebellar hemispheres are divided by 3 lobes. The lobes are anterior lobe, middle lobe, and flocculonodular lobe. These are the 3 lobes. First, we can discuss about the anterior lobe. Anterior lobe, which lies on the anterior part of superior surface. You already know that the superior surface, which lies on the anterior part of superior surface and which is separated from the medial or middle lobe by a fissure. That fissure, it is called as primary fissure. It's called as primary fissure. And then the middle lobe, it is larger than other lobes of cerebellum, and which is seen between the primary fissure and the posterolateral fissure. Here we can see the posterolateral fissure. This one is called as a primary fissure. Between the primary and posterolateral fissure, there we can see a larger area. That larger area, it is called as the middle lobe. Then the third one, it is called as flocculonodular lobe. It is the smallest lobe of cerebellum. It lies on the inferior surface in front of posterolateral fissure. Just in front of the posterolateral fissure, there we can see a small lobe of cerebellum, that is called as flocculonodular lobe. Then we are going to discuss about the parts of cerebellum. The cerebellum, which is divides into numerous small parts, and the cerebellum and also the vermis, which is divides into different small parts. Then this is mainly divided by 3 fissures. The fissures are horizontal fissure, primary fissure, and the posterolateral fissure. First, we can discuss about the primary fissure. The primary fissure, which separates the anterior lobe from the middle lobe on the superior surface of cerebellum. This primary fissure, which separates the anterior lobe from the middle lobe, and this area on the anterior surface. Then another fissure, it is called as the horizontal fissure. The horizontal fissure, which separates the superior surface from the inferior surface. Above the horizontal fissure, that area, it is called as the superior surface. Below the area, it is called as inferior surface. Then the third one, it is called as the posterolateral fissure, which separates the middle lobe from the flocculonodular lobe. The flocculonodular lobe, this one is a flocculonodular lobe, and this area, it is called as the middle lobe, which is separated by a fissure. That fissure, it is called as posterolateral fissure. Then the vermis, which is divides into 9 divisions or 9 parts. The parts are lingula. This first one, it is called as lingula, central lobule, clem, declive, folium, tuber, pyramid, uvula, and nodule. These are the 9 areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These 9 parts are lingula, central lobule, clem, declive, tuber, pyramid, uvula, and nodule. These are the 9 parts of vermis. Then the subdivisions of cerebellum or cerebellar hemisphere. First, we can discuss about the lingula, which is seen just above the superior surface, and the close to the central lobule of a vermis, there we can see another area in the cerebellar hemisphere. That area it is called as the ala. Then quadrangular lobule. The quadrangular lobule and ala are seen just above the primary fissure. Then the below the primary fissure, there we can see another area or parts. It is called as the symbol lobule and the superior semilunar lobule. The superior semilunar lobules and the symbol lobules are seen just above the or between the horizontal fissure and the primary fissure. Then just behind below the horizontal fissure, there we can see another area. It is called as the inferior semilunar lobule, biventral lobule and tonsil. These are the structures which is seen under the horizontal fissure. And another part which is seen below the flocculonodular, the posterolateral fissure, that lobule or that subdivisions, it is subdivisions of cerebellum, it is called as flocculus. This is called as the flocculus or the flocculonodular lobe. Then we can discuss about the divisions of cerebellum. The cerebellum which is divides into by morphologically and functionally. First we can discuss the morphological division of cerebellum. They are the archicerebellum, paleocerebellum and neocerebellum. The archicerebellum, it is phylogenetically, it is the oldest part of the cerebellum. It is made up of flocculonodular lobe and lingula. Then paleocerebellum, it is made up of anterior lobe, pyramid and uvula of inferior vermis. And neocerebellum, and it is made up of a posterior lobe, then pyramid, uvula of inferior vermis. Then functional classification, which is divides into lateral, intermediate and vermis, which is divides into three or longitudinally or longitudinal zones are, they are the lateral, intermediate and vermis. First we can discuss about the lateral, which is connected with association area of brain and involved in planning and programming of muscular activities. Then discuss about the intermediate zone, which is connected with the control of muscles of hand, fingers, feet and the toes. Then the vermis, which is concerned with or which is a control, which controls the muscular activities of trunk, neck, shoulder and hip region. These are the three divisions or three longitudinal divisions or subdivisions by function. And the flocculonodular lobe has another function which helps to the main function of the flocculonodular lobe is the vestibular. The main function is which is controlling the equilibrium of vestibular system. Then the function of cerebellum, the cerebellum which control our body posture, equilibrium and muscle tone, and which is mainly done by the paleocerebellum. The flocculonodular lobe, which is connected to the vestibular nuclei, it involved in the maintenance of balance and body posture. Then the neocerebellum, which is responsible for fine tuning of a motor performance for precious movements, which helps to planning and production of skilled movement along with cerebrum. The cerebrum, it is the master area of our skilled movement, and along with the cerebellum, our fine movement occurs. That means the cerebellum, which is works along with the cerebrum for the body maintain the body posture and the perfect movement of our skilled ideas. So these are the external features of cerebellum. Thank you.